Welcome to Nifty Notions with Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today's Nifty Notion is pressing tools. Now, these can be used for garment construction, crafts, hobbies, and quilting. These pressing tools are from Clover, and there are different sizes that you can get. The fabric is a stiff nylon, so it's like a thin cardboard, almost a thick cardstock. One side has markings on it and the other side is plain. And because they have a good grip to them, they're good for squaring up quilt blocks. What I'm wanting are those two edges to square up blocks. Even though we sew the blocks together, sometimes they just don't work out that way. So I could put a corner here, line up this corner, and it just sort of sticks. Then from there, I can adjust this extra side. Once I have those two edges matched up, I can go in and press. Now I've held that iron down for quite a long time, but I can still pick up that tool. And you can see that the fabric does stick quite well. Once I get that one side done, I can turn it over and do the second side. So this block is bigger than that square, but I'm still able to square off those corners. We can do the same thing with the longer ruler. Match up the one edge, match up the other. Sometimes it's just that one edge that needs to be pressed over. I find it's also good for holding fabric when I'm going to do applique shapes. Normally we would use a sandpaper board, but this works great. Fabric is held into place without all of the bumps of the sandpaper. Now I can go in and trace that shape. That back fabric is not moving, so I can continue to do my shapes. The longer one works great for hems. If I'm going to hem a pair of pants or a skirt or put a hem on a cuff, I often will do a two-part hem. The first one I fold over a 1/4 inch seam. Steam or no steam, it's up to you. The second part of the hem now comes up, and a lot of times it'll come up to a 2 inch. So I'm going to be able to take that, move it up to the 2 inch. I want that top fold along that 2 inch mark. So this area will now get pressed. And I just press over all of it. So now I can put that hem right along that edge. Both that long ruler and the square rulers can be used to do tablecloth hems and napkin hems. First thing I do is I put up that small 1/4 inch seam. So I'll do that on all 4 sides. Now I want to do a mitered edge, and that's where one of these cross lines will come in handy. So they have it on the long ruler and the square ruler. I'm going to take that corner and move it up to the measurement that I want. So let's say I want a 1 inch hem. So I'm going to move that point right up to that 1 inch. Square it up, give it a press. Now I can fold up the 2 sides. One side, it's going to match right up along that 1 inch, but I'm just going to do this one corner and roll up that second edge. Just tuck that in so it's a nice point. I now have a beautiful edge that I can stitch on, and that will have a nice finish to the edges of tablecloths and napkins. You can also do a double tablecloth the same way. So you would do all 4 corners and then take a piece that's a little bit smaller. You don't have to worry about those edges. You're going to stick it in, fold them back, and stitch all the way around. So this has a nice decorative edge on the one side, and it looks really nice from the second side. So this will take a tablecloth and make it reversible and make your napkins reversible. This treatment is also good for making baby blankets. So you have your background fabric with your 4 corners done. Lay your batting down and get it as close as you can to where that fold is going to be. And then place your fabric down. Now you can quilt all of this area. When you're done quilting, fold this over and stitch. You can also use the ruler a little bit different than folding this over. If I want to find that 2-inch mark, I'm going to put the ruler over and I'm going to place my fabric right on top of that 2-inch mark. So that fabric does stick enough that we're going to be able to fold this over, make sure that's straightened out, and give the press. You can see how well those threads are staying on, which means your fabric is going to stay in place. And if you need to clean them, a lint ruler works great. So the hot hammer and the hot ruler are from Clover, and they're thin, lightweight, flexible, steamable, ironable, and, well, they're just a fun notion to add to our sewing room. And it takes the measuring out of some of our work. Thank you for joining me today on Nifty Notions. Feel free to subscribe and come on back. Let's see what we're talking about next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.